If you're looking for a show that has formal interviews with few things you can relate to, then this show isn't for you. This is the On the Air podcast starring you, the OTAP show. What does OTAP stand for? Well, we kind of just told you. These are informal interviews with people from all walks of life, talking about experiences you can relate to. Share in all of the laughs with real stories from real people. Find the show on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Android users can listen on the free Podcast Republic app. Now, get ready for this week's episode. Here's the OTAP show with your host, Corey.
What up, everybody? It's your boy Smooth Over, aka Real Ghost White.
Hey, this is Nikita, aka Jakari Star.
Yo, what's good? This is your boy Bob. And
this is Kaya, aka Black Honey.
Hey folks, this is Corey, the host for Metal for Brains.
Hey girl, she's so pretty.
This is Greg, the infamous New Age Ike Turner.
Kicking it with the homie Corey, aka The Real Shitty. Now you're listening to On the Air Podcast.
And you're listening to the On the Air Podcast.
The On the Air Podcast.
The On the Air Podcast.
This is starring you.
Starring you.
Starring you.
It hurts to breathe, and I can't see past tomorrow. This energy, trapped by doubts and sorrow. And I sit with myself, all by myself, stuck in my own mind. And I just want out to taste the air that I can't feel inside. Don't wanna see the truth, don't wanna see the truth, don't wanna be the who I fall away. Don't wanna see the truth, don't wanna see the truth, don't wanna be the who from yesterday. I lie just to ease the pain, I lie just to ease the pain, yeah, yeah. I lie just to ease the pain, I lie just to ease the pain, yeah, yeah. Don't wanna see them, don't wanna see them, don't wanna see the pain, pain. Don't wanna see them, don't wanna see them, don't wanna see the pain, pain. And I sit with myself, all by myself, stuck in my own mind. And I just want out to taste the air that I can feel inside. Don't wanna see the truth, don't wanna see the truth, don't wanna be the who I fall away. Don't wanna see the truth, don't wanna see the truth, don't wanna be the who from yesterday. I lie just to ease the pain, I lie just to ease the pain, yeah, yeah. I lie just to ease the pain, I lie just to ease the pain, yeah, yeah. Don't wanna see them, don't wanna see them, don't wanna see them, pain, pain. Don't wanna see them, don't wanna see them, don't wanna see them, pain, pain. I lie just to ease the pain. Don't wanna see them, don't wanna see them, pain, pain. I lie just to ease the pain. Don't wanna see them, don't wanna see them, pain, pain.
Fresh off her two singles, Ease the Pain and Submit to You, we got Miss Joella DeVille. What's going on?
What's going on?
We just recently heard you on Hot 97.
You sure did.
All right.
Literally 72 hours ago?
72 hours ago, right? Okay. And so there's this campaign to, that we're voting for you, the Hot 97, Who's Next? The Hot 97,
The Hot 97, okay?
All right. So tell us a little bit about the campaign and what we're voting for.
So Hot 97, as people know, they have their Who's Next series. And this last go round of their series, they had some artists submit footage of us performing to be entered in for to be able to perform at Summer Jam. So the first round of voting was done by a group of judges, and then they picked 6 of us. So there were 3 shows. I did the last show, and I'm going up against another artist who's a rapper who also performed with me last night, actually, at SOB's in New York.
Okay.
So now our performances are up online. People can go view them, and that's how people vote. So literally, you just have to click the link. The link is literally just filmon.com/who's next. That's film, FILM, on.com/who's next. And it'll be only 2 options, myself and the other artist. All you need to worry about is me.
The one option.
That's it. There's only one. It's only one. The one and only Joella DeVille. All you have to do is click vote, and that's it. You can vote a couple of times, it seems like, because I've been able to vote a few times. If you have Wi-Fi, you can vote on and off the Wi-Fi. I voted on my iPad. I voted on my MacBook. I voted on my iPhone. So get those votes in, because y'all know I got to be at Summer Jam. Y'all know I got to perform.
They got one job. They only got one job.
One. And that's to get me on that stage.
Exactly.
Or it's gonna be some smoke in the city.
You read the link like it was a voicemail telephone number. How you go like super slow to make sure they get it.
Because you know how people like say stuff and they don't. First of all, they don't articulate, and then second of all, they say it so fast. It's like, what did you just say? And I need people to vote for me, so I gotta slow it down so that they could type it as I'm saying it. Each letter / you gotta get it all in there so they know they get to that right website and click Joella DeVille. So I gotta do it right.
Ain't no excuses. None.
Can't
whatsoever.
say I gave them the wrong letter. Can't say I said it too fast. None of it.
Right, exactly. How do we get to a point to where now we're hearing you on Hot 97? Like the Hot 97.
Man, I'm still like, you know what I mean? This is a radio show, a radio station that I've grown up listening to. You know, like literally sitting. I have memories of myself sitting in the living room, listening to Hot 97, putting on my cassette player to record, especially anytime Biggie came on, Diddy, well, P. Diddy back, Puff Daddy back then.
Yeah.
So, this station I grew up on. This is who I listened to. So then to hear yourself on it is like, yo, like, this is crazy. So to get to that point, this is years in the making. This isn't just overnight. This ain't no, she knows somebody that knows somebody. No, this is years of failures, successes, of hard work, of, studio time, investments, moving to another coast, like, it's just everything is finally fitting into place now, and that's how we got here, honestly.
How long have you been singing?
I've been singing since forever, to be honest, because my family is a musical family. Literally, like, as soon as you come out the womb, they handing you an instrument. So, like, and I'm not even joking. So, like, at 3, I started violin.
Damn.
At 7, piano. So music has just always been, very influential in my life. And so I just remember, like, I would, like, force my friends when they would come over to, like, sing my songs. I would just make up random little songs to, like, the stuff that was on the keyboard already, like the presets. Mm-hmm. So it was always just something I was interested in. I just never really thought it was something I could pursue, because it's like, singing, yeah, you see other artists and it's, okay, great, they got discovered. But the average person doesn't think that that's something that they can do. And now that the climate has changed for being in the industry and what it means to be an artist, in 2016 versus being an artist in 2000, the landscape is completely different. So I've been singing, like I said, since I can remember. As a solo artist, though, I would say I kind of really made that decision at the end of my senior year of college. So that was 2009 was when I decided, okay, you know what? Are you going to be happy going to law school? Are you really doing this for you? Or are you trying to appease somebody else and you're going to be miserable and you're going to be broke and you're not going to, you know what I mean? And so I had to kind of make a decision, as I was, getting in the industry and meeting new people. And Steve Reyes, who was formerly with All Hip Hop, kind of took me under his wing a little bit. And I remember he took me, and he would take me to a lot of places. Like I was actually on stage with Wu-Tang performing one time. It was crazy. Yes, like he exposed me to so much. I'm so thankful for him. Yeah, like right, like who? Like I'm just on stage with Wu-Tang. Like who does that? It's crazy. So like those, he would just bring me to those type of experiences, or like I remember I met Kid Rock. I met a lot of people because of him, and I remember he was introducing me to someone, and I introduced myself. And I think I was saying that I was going to go to law school or something or whatever. And afterwards, he pulled me to the side. He said, "I didn't bring Joella, the law student. I brought Joella, the artist. So if you're going to be here networking, no one cares about you going to school and all of that. If you're here as a singer, you need to be here as a singer. And if not, if that's just a hobby, then fine. But you have to make a decision." Is basically what that conversation came down to. Mm-hmm. And that helped me. That really helped me because I was like, you know what, he's right. Because I'm trying to tell people all this stuff about school, and for what? Like, that's not really what I care about right now. And so, that I think that 2009, 2010 was that, you know what, let's go. It's go mode. So I think that's pretty much when I started my solo career.
I think that is very, very sound advice, because people, a lot of times when they're venturing off into something new and that's what they want to do, they don't really take time to kind of own it for themselves.
Right.
And so this, like, they force this weird humility on them. And it's like, if, like, for instance, I have a podcast, right? I'm a podcaster. Mm-hmm. And so, it's, to me, yeah, it's kind of a hobby, but this is what I do, and I'd like for it to be something more. So, right. If I'm going in a room and I want people to know about that, I can't put that on the back burner. And right. so I tell my little brother stuff like that all the time. Who you going to be, put yourself out there for that, so that people can see you in that light.
Right.
That's really dope. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. So I'm always going to be thankful to him for that conversation, because you need, in this industry, is so rough and tough. Like, you need people to be able to say the right, the honest things that you need to hear, because if not, if he would have never said that to me, I probably would have still been introducing myself as if singing was a hobby that you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so I'm glad he kind of forced me to kind of reconcile with that and just make a decision. I think he could relate because he was going through that before I think he signed on to do All Hip Hop, full time. Because he, I think was into computers and all this other stuff. And I think his family members, all kind of on that straight and narrow path of, computer science and all that. And when he decided that's not what he wanted to do, I think he faced, some, obstacles with his family as well, and trying to decide and determine what he was going to do. So he could really give me that advice because he went through it. He understands. And so it was really good to have that conversation with him about, really making a decision. Like, okay, if you're going to be an artist, then that's what you need to introduce yourself as. Forget everything else. You're an artist, and that's it.
Was there ever a point where, after you came into that and was like, I'm going to own this, was there ever a point where you got in and felt like you were in too deep and this was not something that you could do?
How much time do you have? This I will say, this career path is really not for everybody, and as I get more things accomplished, and which means sometimes that means more failures because you're doing more. So there are certain things that are not gonna, pan out for you. I I just had to realize there's just gonna be ups and downs, and the ups are really up, and the downs are really, really down. And in those down times, I felt like I don't think I could do this. Like I don't, because you're so far, you if you're doing it correctly, and not to say there's a right way or wrong way, but just correctly as far as investing in yourself, making the sacrifices. It gets hard because it's like you invest so much money, thousands of dollars into yourself, and then you feel stagnant. And it's like, okay, now what do I do? And so there was a couple times where I did feel like that. Like I would get excited about a project, save up the money for it or help get people to help me with it, get it out, and then feel like it didn't really go anywhere, do anything. Or even if it did, that, okay, now what do I do next? You know what I mean? And so I think there was a lot of times where I was just like, okay, I don't know what to do. Most recently, literally this year, I felt like, oh my God, like what am I gonna do? Like I wouldn't say this year. I guess the end of last year, right before one of my major shows where I opened up for Kendrick Lamar and Jadena and all of them.
Oh
So
shit!
it was before that. It was very rough for me because I had just moved to LA. I felt like I wasn't gonna be, because everything wasn't going according to plan. And anyone who knows me, I'm a planner. And so when things just don't go right according to the plan that I set out, the plan that I took time and effort to put together, I panic. You know what I mean? I planned to move out to LA, to have a full-time job, to use that money to invest, and then I would be okay, and da-da-da-da. And that did not happen at all, So those times really were rough for me and really made me feel like I don't know if I could do this. But now that I'm kind of back on and up, I can definitely say I think those thoughts are behind me at this point, as far as feeling like I don't think I can do this. I'm understanding that there are just going to be lows, and I'm just going to have to power through them the way I've powered through them before.
If this is something, and it sounds like the way you describe it, as there are ups and there are downs, like plural, and this happened like more than one time.
Mm-hmm.
How do you? Well, I guess the question is, what brings you out of it?
So I have like a little, not routine, but I guess, especially as I've become older, have decided I have to be okay with being in the downs, with accepting where I am. It's hard to do because you don't want to be there. You want to be rich and you want to have money and you want to be able to do the things you need to do. But because of those circumstances, because of those experiences, there's a lot that comes from it. There's music that I draw from it. This album, two of the songs came from poems that I wrote during a really depressed time for me. That I and I really love the poems. So for me, what I do is I let myself sulk. Like I feel like it's really important to let yourself just be miserable. Just feel whatever it is you're feeling, because we're so quick to feel like, oh my God, I have to get out of this. I can't feel like this.
I was telling somebody
I gotta
that.
be strong.
I promise you, I was just telling somebody that.
Right, like you just feel like I gotta be strong. I can't do this, and it's like, no, you need to. We're human. We're going through things. We have to emote, because then it'll come out at the wrong time, in the wrong place, and inappropriate place, or to the wrong person. And so I allow myself to emote. I allow myself to sulk. So sometimes it's times when people don't see me on Twitter a lot, which is not normal for me, because I'm on Twitter pretty frequently. So when I'm not, that's me taking my time to just deal with myself. Then what I do is I'll give myself a couple days or however long I think I need. Then what I'll do is write a plan. Okay, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? What is in your near future? Let's say a year. Okay, you want to do more shows? All right. What do we have to do to get there? All right, we need to meet some DJs so you can give them your music, because with the DJs playing your music, then people are going to want to hear it. Then people are going to want to see you perform it. All right, what else do you need to do? You need to reach out to some more bloggers and to some more media personalities. You know what I mean? So I start from where do I want to be at X amount of time, and then I work backwards. Okay, what do I need to get there? And so then once I fill in those little steps, then I can start filling in dates. Okay, what do you need to do here? Okay, Figure out where are some events. All right, you need to save money. You need to find a publicist. Figure out how much that budget might be. Now, what do you need to do to acquire that, those funds to do that? So that's kind of how I work, because it's easier for me to know that I have a plan than to just be like, all right, I'm still depressed, but I'm just going to power through. Having a plan helps me to power through is pretty much the answer to your question. After I talk, after I emote, after I deal with me, just having that plan and knowing, all right, this is what I have to do, I feel like that helps me get back into focus of what needs to get done, as far as, going after my goals that I have.
That's very powerful to say, allow yourself to, the time to sort of soak a little bit. And I was just telling someone that it's when you feel disappointment, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Maybe what happened to cause the disappointment, yeah, that sucked, but you want to get familiar with that and understand that you don't like it, because you'll be able to, one, recognize disappointment, far ahead in advance. You'll prepare better, but also you want to use that as your fuel to, to propel yourself forward. You know what I mean?
Right.
You don't ever want to stay in the same place. So that's amazing. That's really awesome. I'm glad that you came to that realization, because as we can see right now, like you're reaping those benefits.
Right. Absolutely. And again, those are just again coming to the realization that those downs are going to be there. But what I also can say is what helps me power through, my friends. Like, I have some amazing friends, and family that just help me emotionally. Like, forget anything else, the emotional support that I get from them, even though I'm an only child. So I like to be alone. And so I think it kind of scares people around me, because even when I'm in a good space, I like to be by myself.
Yes.
So when I'm in a bad space, I want complete and total isolation from everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And so everybody, my friends, my family, are really good about still checking on me, making sure, you know what I mean? Because I know how I can be. Like, if I feel like a person is pushing me away, I'm like, okay, well, then you get back to me when you get back to me.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And my friends and family are not like that at all with me. They're very like, okay, I see she kind of needs some space. Let me give it to her, but let me still check in and make sure she's okay. And so without that, I think that, that is a very critical piece that has really helped me as an artist. And I think artists take those type of people for granted, because even if they're not people who give financially, that emotional support is so important, because as an artist coming up, you literally are picking literally like one person at a time to help you on your way as far as building your fan base, because that's literally what it takes. It takes time to really get somebody to just click one of your links to listen to your music, so to really value those people who are going to be there to listen to you, who are going to be there to help you and see you through those sacrifices that you're making, because these are sacrifices that the average person is not having to make. The average person, can go on vacations and go to Beyonce concerts and do all of that stuff. The type of money that's allotted for those things for someone like me, or let's take an artist out of it. Let's just say someone who's starting their own business. They can't do that. I mean, they can, but they're silly. You know what I mean? So it's like you have to really be focused, and to have people around you who are willing to help you do that and not make you feel bad because you can't. I mean, they probably still gonna go to the Beyonce concert, but they're gonna be there for you when you're crying and you're upset because your music video shoot went terribly wrong and you didn't get any shots that day. And literally, like, my friend Dominique was just like, okay, let me let her cry. Let me let her get through. Then when I was done, she's like, okay, now what do you need from me? That's literally all she said. She didn't care about nothing else. She's one of my dancers, actually.
Oh, you talking about Sneedy?
Yeah.
That's my homie right there. She's good people. She's awesome.
She is like one of the best people to know. I don't even want people knowing her. I'm just like, no, don't, y'all don't need her.
She is such a wonderful spirit. Like,
she does. Like, she just doesn't, and she's taught me a lot. Like, she's one of those people that I want to emulate, as far as like just she just has a good spirit about her. You know what I mean? Like there's no negative energy, even when she's going through something. And me and her have had like not fights, but me and her have had like where she'll come to rehearsal and she might have had a bad day. You know what I mean? And I might not scream on them, but get a little stern with them as far as choreography, and then we'll have our little crying moments together. And she is not necessarily upset at me, but just the what happened during the day, and then to tumble over into rehearsal. So we've had so many girls sister bonding moments that we're just in a space where, like I said, this girl, if I needed to call her for, I don't know, to use her right arm, this girl would come and let me use her right arm. Like that's who she is. That's what she's about. And she's always just been able to just step in and be like, all right, girl, what do you need from me? You know what I mean? No questions asked at all. And so she's one of those people, again, like I said, as an artist, there's a certain support system that we need, because it gets hard, it gets rough, that people can't understand it and people can't relate to it. Sometimes even family members, it took a while for my family members to kind of really get it and see like this is something I can really do. And that doesn't upset me. I think in general, when people are pursuing something, again, let's just say someone who's starting their own business, I think you do owe people to see, okay, let me see if she can actually do this. Like, let me see if she's going to put in the work. Let me see. Because at first, people think it's easy. Oh, all right, I'm just going to quit my job and start and do something. And then, 5 months down the line, it's like, oh, they're back to doing whatever. You know what I mean? So you would have wasted their energy of that trying to support you and do everything. So I don't mind that it took them, some time to come around. But like I said, that support system is just so important. And I'm beyond blessed and beyond thankful to have all these people in my life that can help me through those lows.
I think anybody that has Sneedy in their life, like she is such an enhancement to the quality of someone's life. And I'm not even like being extra with it. I remember one time there was and it wasn't really anything major, but I actually still have the voicemail, and if she hears this, she probably gonna be like, wow, okay. But there was somebody in my life that died, and and she didn't have to. We didn't really talk every day or anything like that at the time, but she just called and left me a voicemail and was just real short and sweet, and was like, I heard such and such happened. Just want to let you know that I'm thinking about you, and if you need anything. And that really helped bring me out of it. And it's amazing that she has that sort of effect on people. So like with her in your corner,
she's very awesome. Selfless.
Exactly. Very, very much so. Very much so.
Yeah.
So yeah,
so no one else can have her. Sorry. She's all taken up.
Right.
Maybe she'll have an appointment for you guys in a couple of years. Sorry.
Right. When her services are done here.
Right.
Don't everybody go trying to run to her, trying to have her in your corner, because that clearly that's already, we got that.
We got it. It's taken care
of. Right. Earlier you mentioned about just having someone click your links and listen to the music, just to how else are you going to help promote it? With you being an artist and part of your promotional tool, and I would imagine it's part of your release also, is Twitter, social media, Facebook, that sort of thing. So I don't view you as quote unquote a Twitter artist. You know what I mean? Like I don't view you as someone, basically trying to push a mixtape.
Right.
But do you ever feel like people are casting that stigma on you?
Absolutely. I've seen people refer to me as that. I just think when people, and I mean, it's not anybody that follows me, because people that follow me, obviously have seen a lot of my successes, have seen the things that I've been able to accomplish, especially in the short amount of time that I moved to LA. So I think the people who follow me are pretty much aware of where things are heading, and I don't think they would label me as that. But other people, I think, definitely just see me as that, and it kind of sucks, because it's like not that I don't take it personally as far as, like, for me, again, for me, it doesn't matter too much because I know where I'm going. I know where this is heading. I've, just by everything that's been going on. And anybody who knows me knows I'm not a talker. I'm a shower. I'm not one of those artists who will talk up about who I met with and taking pictures with so-and-so and yeah, stay tuned, y'all, because I'm so and such is going to happen. I'm not that artist at all. I only tell people things is when they're happening. Like the SOB show, I knew about it before I could even tweet about it. So until I got that confirmation, until I saw that flyer, you know what I mean? Like I wasn't saying
I'm
nothing.
walking to the door right now.
Right, exactly. Basically, because there's a lot, like I said, there's a lot of ups and downs, and you don't want to, overstep or say something that's going to happen and then it doesn't happen, then you look crazy or like you didn't really do what was going to happen, because a lot of things behind the scenes, they'll say, oh yeah, we're going to do this and this, and then we get there and then it doesn't happen. And so that's partially why. But I think in general, it just makes me sad because I know there's other artists who, I don't want to say they haven't seen the success I've seen, but who are, still climbing, who are still trying to figure things out, who are still in their beginning stages, their first 2-3 years of this. And I'm, like I said, this is I'm started in 2010 basically. So we're 6 years into this at this point, almost 7 years into this. And it's a little bit different for me, but I don't want those artists to get discouraged, because it can feel discouraging when people are laughing at you or making you feel like your dream is just so unattainable, because it's probably one of the hardest dreams and goals to follow, over most other professions where you could just, get a degree. And I'm not saying that that's easy either, because I have degrees. So I understand that that's a process as well, and that getting a job, can be hard and take time. I get it. But there's just a different level when it comes to being an artist or being a comedian, or, those type of things require different focus and different work ethics. So it just hurts to see people like encourage all the other people trying to like pursue their careers and their dreams. And then when it comes to artists, it's just their quote unquote Twitter artists. And it's like, I'm hoping that more artists who are in positions like me can help shed a light on what we do, because it's like Twitter artist to me means, oh, okay, you just only gonna be on Twitter. Like we never gonna see you nowhere else. And if anybody has seen me or heard, seen people retweet me, which they have been doing for a while now, especially because of my show yesterday and my video that dropped, and me being on Hot 97, they can see like this is beyond Twitter. Twitter has helped me. Twitter is a tool, but you just said, you heard me on Hot 97. NPR picked up my music as a feature. My music has been on VH1, Bravo, Lifetime. So it's beyond Twitter, and I'm hoping that people can, just stop feeling like Twitter, quote unquote, Twitter artists who are just artists that are on Twitter using Twitter as a tool, have a lot to offer, and that we are not beneath anyone. And if anything, we're passionate and we're more determined to go after something that just requires a little bit more than the average profession.
Mm-hmm. I would have considered you a Twitter artist if I went to your if I'd have clicked on your name and saw like endless links, like every other tweet was a link.
Mm-hmm.
And then if I click on one of them, it's sort of whack.
Right.
Then you probably, I mean, no disrespect to the whack Twitter artists out there, you know what I mean? But
I get what you mean. But see, that's the thing. Like to me, there's different types. There's artists, and then there's people who are trying to do music,
hobbyists.
And there's a difference. So, for me, if you look on my Twitter page, I mean, today is a little bit different because I'm trying to get everybody to vote.
Well, yeah, of course.
But on the average day, I might tweet about 5 links, maybe. The rest of it is conversations I'm having with people, like I don't spam people, I don't, if you catch the link, you catch it. If you don't, you don't. And hopefully at some point you realize that I'm an artist. There's people who followed me for months before they realized that I sing. They was like, "Oh, you sing?" I'm like, "Yeah." You didn't read my bio. I mean, and I'm not offended. That's just what it is. Like, people will follow me, and even though it says artist, actress, as seen on or as heard on, they still follow me for the things that I say, my words, my thoughts, and that's fine with me. I'm cool with that, to be honest, because I want people to get in my world. I want people to sit here, see the things that I see and feel what I feel, because I do feel I have a specific audience, and I do feel that people want to hear my voice. It's not necessarily the nicest voice, and I talk about that on my timeline all the time. I don't care to be nice. I care to be a good person, not a nice person. So for me, I think I have a certain voice and a certain just stance on things that weren't necessarily discussed before, or just my take on things is just a little bit different, and I'm willing to put that out there for the world to see. Whereas, like, most people who probably think like me are a little more afraid to kind of say the things that I say, and so to follow me is to kind of have me as an outlet to just be able to retweet what I'm saying and not necessarily say it yourself. And so, I think once they get that part of me, once they get that part of me, then they're like, okay, let me see what this chick is all about. And then they're like, oh, you sing. And so they're more willing to go check, links and get to know a little bit more about me. And that doesn't bother me. I'm cool with that.
I tell people, there's nothing wrong with promotion and, promoting what you have going on. When I first started doing this podcast, my biggest concern was I didn't want to spam people. You know what I mean? I don't want to, hey, listen to this, hey, listen to this. So like you said, I still engaged in conversation like I normally would. People know who I was. But I just happen to have a podcast now. And so I'll tweet out links a few times throughout the day, just, check it out, because the same people in the morning are not the same people in the evening a lot of time. But one of the things that drives me is, like, for someone kind of mentioned something like this in passing, and I caught it, but I didn't say anything. But it was just, he's, all these Twitter podcasts, or I guess because that's kind of the new medium now, and that's fine. But to me, it's a little bit more than that, right? So if I reach out to someone to interview them, and they're like, nah, because it's a Twitter, that's cool, I'm fine, because at some point you're gonna hear this somewhere, and you're gonna want to be a part of it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and that's kind of what drives me in that same fashion. So I can really respect that.
Right. That's pretty much how I am. Like, I just feel like I feel like I'm gaining at least one or two new fans every day. I feel like I'm even though I'm just being Joella on Twitter, I'm hustling. I'm doing what I have to do, and if you don't see it now, you will see it. You just don't see it now, and that doesn't bother me. Like I said, and that's on you. It's really if we really want to be real, that's a problem for you, not for me. You feel me? So again, I'm as an artist, when I give some type of feedback, or when I give any advice, I usually tell them all the time. I'm like, look, you want bandwagoners. Bandwagoners mean you did something right. Mm-hmm. When everybody sees other people jumping on what you got going on, that means you doing something right. So before that, it's gonna take time. You're gonna get a couple here, a couple there. It's gonna take a little time. But once the people who didn't believe in you all of a sudden now believe in you, you better revel in that. You need to be excited about that. You ain't gotta hang out with them or nothing, but that means you did what you came to do, and that's all. To me, that's a compliment.
I had to learn, when you're in your space and you're being creative, and you're excited about it, and you want others to to see what you're doing, and they'll probably look. They don't really put that kind of time and attention to it. I had to learn that people just don't understand, and that's okay. They don't get why I'm so driven into, or why you spend so many hours into the studio, or why you sacrifice this. They don't understand that. You know what I mean? And I had to stop holding that against people, because they're just simply ignorant to it. And I don't mean ignorant in a bad way. They just don't know.
They don't know, right?
And then when they see, what's come from it, Then
Right.
they start kind of, you know what I mean? And it's like, okay, yeah, let's talk about it. Let's have this conversation. Now you can kind of understand that.
Right.
I was just telling someone the other day. It might have been my girlfriend. I was telling someone this. I think it was her. Somebody told me a long time ago. Why are you laughing?
Because you couldn't remember who you were telling it to, but go ahead.
I mean, it was probably her. Like, I mean, I've recited this somewhere else before. I mean, look, don't put me on the hot seat. When she hear this, like, you don't remember that it was me? It probably was you. I tell you so much, baby. I know you listening. But I was, someone was telling me a while back that where you are right now, today, what you're doing and the successes that you're having right now is because of what you were doing 3 months ago. And I thought about that.
Or more.
Or more, yeah, or more. But I thought about that. And every time I experience some type of success, I always take a moment to look back and think, what was I doing 3 months ago? And it's usually I was grinding to get to this point.
Right.
Do you write your own songs?
I do.
Do you have writers?
I don't. I think after this project, I do want to work with writers, just to open me up a little bit more, just to have that. Because, like I said, every project I've done, I write them all myself. So that's something I would love to work on for future projects.
Has there been anyone that's worked with you or wanted to work with you that you were surprised that they wanted to do it?
Not surprised. I don't know if surprised is the word because I'm awesome as hell. But, I would say
the Joella DeVille, ladies and gentlemen.
I think I'm just always appreciative. Appreciative is more of the word than surprised because with each project, especially coming out with my first one, they didn't have any material. You know what I mean? This was literally just me hustling on Twitter, networking, trying to find people. And it just so happened that, after I worked with them, that they loved what I did to their production, what I added to it. Mm-hmm. So I'm, to this day, even with this project that I'll be putting out in June, just appreciative that they've taken a chance on me. Because even, I feel like if I was a producer, right, I don't care where the artist is in their career. I want to feel like you did my record justice. I want to feel like you're bringing life to it. When I write, or let's say, like, when rappers ask me to critique their stuff, which I do not like for them to do. But when they ask, one of the things I look for is, what did you add? What did your instrument, your voice, add into the production? Did it take away anything, or did you add something, or was it just there? And I feel like that's really important. And so when a producer is just excited about what I did, is ready to send it off to every single person, is, singing the lyrics, is, you know what I mean? It really makes me feel good because it's like, I'm not where I want to be yet, and people are still taking chances on me. So I don't want to say that I'm surprised that they work with me, but I'm appreciative that they're taking these chances with me, because I don't feel like all artists, regardless of where they are in their careers, they could be on the radio, or they could be just heavily buzzing, and I could still feel like, I don't know if they really did this justice or not. So for producers to, maybe hear one of my songs or whatever and be like, yeah, I do want to work with you. I'm really interested in working with you, which has been the case for all of my projects. That's special to me, because it says a lot to me that they're just so, because that's their baby. Like I said, if I was a producer, that's my baby. I'm handing you my baby, and I want you to add something to my baby. I want you to give it life. I want you to do something extra. I want you to just help it grow and just be the best baby ever. And to feel like producers feel that I do that with their music is everything to me. It just they're usually like hype about it, you know what I mean? And so again, surprise isn't the word. It's just appreciative and thankful that they're just so willing to allow me to do my thing on a track. You feel me?
Has anybody given you advice that we, the listening public, might know?
Giving me advice that the public might know?
Yeah, any either public figure, somebody in the industry.
Oh. No, not really.
Why you say not really?
I mean that the general public, no, I wouldn't say. Like most of the advice that I've gotten that I take, because that's the other thing. I'm a little bit stubborn. I'll admit that, but it's not a hindrance. You know, like there's the Joella the artist and Joella the businesswoman. I can separate them. So there's people who are around me who are telling me things. Like for example, I don't know if you remember, if you ever watched like Making the Band with Diddy, but one of his like literally like right hand man Conrad Demond, she was on the show a couple of times, but he was around for Biggie's albums, all of that stuff, so he was there for everything. So he's one of the people that I consult with as far as my music goes. But so it's more of the people in the background that you would have to be in the industry to know who these people are. But I don't really take advice from non-artists because I'm just going to keep it all the way real. A lot of people who are in the industry are in the industry because they wanted to be an artist. It didn't pan out, or they didn't have the resources, or they just didn't have the hustle and the talent to do what they needed to do as an artist, and they kind of go over to the other side and work that way because they have a love of music and they want to be involved in some way. So for me to take advice from someone who didn't really continue and kind of technically quit is not really my thing. Like I get that they're in the industry, they work with artists, but it's like I need to know who you put on. I need to know what steps you took to get there. Because if you can't give me those things, if you can't sit here and say to me, yeah, we set aside this budget, we found this videographer, we did, you know what I mean? If you can't really, really come down with me on the business level of being an artist, and you can only just tell me the things that you see artists doing on the, on the back end of things. Well, not really the back end, I guess, on the public side of things, but you can't really tell me how they got there. You can't really give me advice. I've seen people be like, oh, discuss how artists should build their social media followings. And I'm like, well, it looks like you're having a hard time building followers too. So why am I listening to you about, you know what I mean? So certain things and it's not any, I don't mean to be, no disrespect, but it's just like, for me, when it comes to getting advice, I want advice from an actual artist. I don't want advice from an industry person who didn't really do it, or who worked on one project for 2 days and saw the artist for 17 hours, and so now they know everything, and that's a lot of the advice. And I just can't take that type of advice from people. So I don't know. I'm not really big on advice. But no, I don't think any public figure has really given me. Honestly, the advice that has pushed me through was what I told you in the beginning with Steve, where he was like, you need to decide if you're an artist or if this is a hobby.
I got
so, yeah.
Do you remember the first song you wrote?
The first song I wrote as a solo artist, yeah, it was called Buckle Up. Wait, was that the first song? I believe it was the first song. It's called Buckle Up. I mean, I think there's been other songs, but I can't really remember them. But the one that we put out and, I performed and all of that was Buckle Up.
The song Ease the Pain, does that come from does that come from somewhere dark, or does that come from a place where you were, like how we talking about earlier, you having to come out, and get back on the grind or get back to where you were? Does that come from any sort of downfall or anything, or is that just a song that you just like, oh, okay, I think people can relate to this?
Nope, it definitely comes from what I was experiencing last year. I wish I had my book of poems with me. I left them in LA. I'm on the East Coast right now for my shows and stuff, but it definitely came from a place of me just hiding in myself, and I just decided to just write it out because it's been a while since I wrote, written poetry. I actually won awards and stuff like that while I was in college for poems.
That's dope.
And so I just decided, you know what, I need to write. I need to do something. I need to write. So I just wrote some poems, and Ease of Pain came out of one of those poems where I was just deep within myself, and I trying to figure out if I'm lying to myself. Can I do this? Is this real? Can I come out of it? Like, how can I breathe? Like, just feeling very suffocated. Like, I just felt like I couldn't breathe. I felt like I didn't know if I was literally going to see tomorrow. You know what I mean? And these are lyrics of this song. And so it comes from a very real place. It definitely isn't something I just thought, oh, maybe people like this. Because the song, if we just listen to the instrumental, it's very airy. And but I feel like, which is what I kind of love about EDM and house music, you can go there. You can go there lyrically in those songs. Yeah, you can dance to it, but you can still say something. You can still feel something. You can still feel a pain and still feel happy to know that you can get through that pain, or that you're acknowledging that pain exists. And so, yeah, it's definitely coming from a very real feeling, a very real experience that I was having.
Okay. A few more questions before we get you out of here. Tell us about a time when you got on stage and you completely like rocked the house. Like everybody was out of their seats. You was feeling it. Everybody was in the zone. Tell us about that, when and where it was.
You know what? The show I did at the Forum in Inglewood, where I opened up for Kendrick and Jadena and Rich Homie Quan and Ray Shremmerd, that was literally the first show I had that I think I wasn't nervous at all getting on stage. As an artist, I think we all have, some nervousness, even if we're comfortable on the stage, because the stage is where I'm comfortable. But just, that first initial step of getting on the stage and seeing who's out in the crowd, and are they going to receive me well? Are they going to, listen? Are they going to jam? Are they going to talk during my set? That was the first show that I did, and I was completely in my element. Like, there was no nervousness at all. Again, I opened that show, so these people don't know me. This is everybody, these are headliners, okay? And I'm just Joella DeVille from New Jersey opening this show, so of course they don't know my music. And I put the mic out into the crowd, and they're singing the song with me, and so it was just really dope that they would participate with little old me,
Yeah.
and it was a sold out show. It wasn't filled up yet because, it was the beginning of the show, but, people were there. I can see people. They're dancing. They're excited. Even when I got off the stage and eventually when I went to go to my seats, I had to pass by people and people were like, oh my God, you did so well. So that was definitely one of my shows that I know I rocked it, because that's the thing I'll say about LA and New York. Like, people are not going to say anything about you having a good show if they didn't feel like you had a good show. They'll let you walk by it and they won't say anything.
That's
and
true.
That's not what happened at all. Like, people were like, oh my God, you did so well. I love your song. So that I really felt like that was a slam dunk. You feel me?
Where's your favorite place to perform? Do you have a favorite venue, town, city?
Not yet. Honestly, I would say I like Kobe's, but their sound system is just like, ugh. But SOBs is home for me. I performed there 4 times now.
Yeah.
So, you know, when I get to that level where I can bring my own sound system, then we'll be good money. But I can still say though, South, you know, SOBs is definitely one of it's just home basically.
Okay. I haven't really talked about this too much on my show. Well, I actually haven't at all. So this will actually be the first time, other than changing the background of my show to purple to represent him. But what did Prince mean to you? We just lost Prince, and I truth be told, I actually might still be in mourning over that. But what did he mean to you as an artist?
Well, so here's the thing. It's sad that I had to be one of those people who had to wait till he wasn't here to really appreciate him. And I don't want to say that. That's not true. I think I just forgot all the amazing music that he had. Because once he died, you know, obviously we all went and just played Prince all day. And I was like, oh yeah. And like every song that came on, I'm like, yes, this, oh shit. You know what I mean? Like every single song, you gotta take it back, redo it, play it again, every single one. And I think it just reminded me of just great musicianship. You know, like I said, I grew up playing violin and piano. I was a musician first and will always be a musician. Not that singers aren't musicians, you are, but I'm talking as far as reading notes, as being able to play, you know, things like that. That's important. And Prince really, he is the epitome of musicianship, you know, like who plays all those instruments, who composes and writes like everything that they do, produces everything. And from such a young age, you know, he was a true virtuoso. And like I said, I'm really disappointed in myself that I didn't really appreciate all the contributions that he made musically while he was here. But someone like Prince is just, I just feel like you can't be an artist and not acknowledge his greatness. You know, I just feel like you need to get in another industry or something. Because he was about music. He was really about the passion of it. You know, he was to produce your own records and to go in and play every instrument. Like that takes time.
That's bananas, effort, right?
Like, and he was doing this like as a teenager. That's the craziest part about this whole thing. Like, it's not like he was doing this at 20, 30, 30 years old. He was doing this as a teenager. So someone like Prince that's who you look up to. He set trends. He was himself. And if you take the music, outside of things, which is hard to do, Prince, and he's amazing, but Prince was himself. And in the climate that we're currently in the industry, it's like they don't want you to be yourself, but you kind of have to be yourself because you got to use social media to show what you're doing at every second, and we got to get your personality so that your fans will like you. And Prince was just like, look, y'all, I'll see y'all when y'all see y'all, you know? And when I see y'all, this is what you get, and now I'm gone. Thank you. And so I kind of missed that. I missed that mystique about artists. We now know when they're taking a dump. We know what they ate for Chipotle. Like, we know everything. And sometimes I think it's a little too much. And so I just appreciate him for just being him. For, oh, okay, y'all think I'm gay? Fine, I'm gay. Oh, okay, you think I'm this? Fine, I'm not. What, you know what I mean? He's not disputing anything. He's not going to argue about it. If that's what you think he is, then that's what he is. And he's okay with that.
You're not the only one that, feels like, they should have appreciated him a little bit more. I feel like that. Like, growing up, it was my mom that turned me on to Prince, and
right, of course. I just feel like if your mom doesn't turn you on to Prince, something is wrong.
Yeah, exactly. And she may not even remember this, but I do, and I remember the song because I remember saying, "Who is that?" And it was Prince. I remember it was Kiss, and so I've always appreciated him. But it's like you said, there are those songs and things that you may have forgotten that he did. I grew up a big Michael Jackson fan. So he was kind of who I listened to the most, and then it was like Michael Jackson, and then there was Prince. But as I got older and realized, a lot of the song, like he was consistently making music every year, every 2 years, and things like that. But I think for me, one of the things is I wish that I could have appreciated not just so much his artistry and his musical genius, but how much of a humanitarian he was. And that's something that I didn't really get until, after he passed, and I'm looking at all these videos and things that he said and articles and things he did and all these people speaking for him. And I wish that, I could have appreciated that while he was still here. And it's just like, for the longest time, like when it happened, one, because it was so sudden, but it's like, yo, there's not going to be another Prince concert. There's not going to be, you know what I mean? Like he's like not here. Like who else is out there like playing a million different instruments and then shading you?
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's one of the things that I'm gonna miss. You know what I mean? But we still have his music here, and we have all the different videos and things. Actually, I tried to watch Purple Rain. I couldn't do it. I could not watch. I was gonna go. They played it in the movies. I was going to go to the movies and watch it. It came on VH1. I couldn't even do it. I could not sit there and finish it because it was just too heavy for me. The fact that he's not gonna be here. So, but
yeah. When I listened to Purple Rain, and I just started tearing up. But I had to replay it because it's just so amazing. It's just so amazing. I just was like, oh my god, okay, replay. Okay, one more time. And I'm just like singing it and crying. I remember too because I was like parked at the Chili's at the to go thing, and I just was playing it when my dog is with me in the car, and I'm just like singing it and crying like it was. Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you the song that it was for me. And I haven't told anybody this, so this is just between me and you. All right. And I may or may not have let a tear fall. Okay, all right. So, but the song for me was "Purple Rain." Almost did it, but to me, when I heard the song, I was just driving and I heard it come up on Beats Music. It was "Sometimes It Snows in April" off the Cherry Moon soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
That was the song that had the effect on me that Purple Rain had on you. But again, this is just between me and you. I may or may not have shed a tear. You know what I mean? We'll that remains to be seen.
If you didn't, you ain't real.
Yeah, I know, right? Right? I just that some stuff you just want to keep that to you. You know what I mean? That ain't everybody's business. So. But yeah, I may or may not have been real that day. We'll say it like that. Oh, okay. Before we get you out of here, do you have any questions for me? Anything you want to know? Anything you want to ask?
I don't think so.
Okay, that's cool. I'm trying to give people that option because I sit there and I'm asking them all the questions and. I mean, I want people to feel like they can ask stuff too. I think
it's harder because with interviews and stuff, it's like you don't expect that, so you don't come prepared.
Exactly. That's why I throw it out there like that because you just never know what you're gonna get on the OTAP show.
I can't.
Another one. Last question. Where do people get you fucked up?
Wait, rephrase the question so I can answer it correctly.
That's exactly how it is. Where do people get you fucked up? You know how when you like, you got me fucked up. Where do people get you fucked up?
Where do people get me fucked up?
You got me fucked up if you think blah, 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 blah. Or maybe they think...
maybe... But see, here's the thing. I think in my, again, as I'm becoming older, not that I don't care about a lot of things, but I'm reacting to things differently. So
yeah.
I'm just in this space where if I don't like you, if you do something I don't like, or you say something I don't like, I make sure that you understand that you are completely irrelevant to life. So I won't give you any attention. And that's like I do it on Twitter all the time. People don't know because I don't respond to it, but people say things to me that, you know, they'll tweet me negative things or say things about me or say I can't sing or whatever. But I don't go back and forth with people. I don't want you to feel like you're important. I don't want you to feel like you can have my energy because you can't. You don't deserve it. You're nobody. So it's kind of hard to say, you know, where people get me fucked up at is because it's like, watch this, you're nobody. And I love ignoring people. It's like my hobby. Like I love making sure you understand that you are irrelevant as fuck. You know, it's like you come at me, say some crazy shit, and I don't respond to you. Now, how does that make you feel? Because most times people want a reaction. They want to feel like you that they got you riled up or they got you feeling some type of way, and they don't get a reaction. And it's like, oh wow, no one heard me. That's what it feels like. It's like nobody heard you, and so I love that. You know, like just feel that, take it in, know that I don't give a shit.
You're not an asshole, are you?
I'm not. Like I said, I'm not. I don't think I'm the nicest person, but that's not something I strive to be.
You just strive to be a good person.
I strive to be a good person. That's the type of woman that my mom raised, that my grandmother raised. You know, my grandmother. You go ask my grandmother for a car, she will hand it to you. Like, and I'm not even joking. Like literally. So these are the type of women that I grew up around, and so it's just I rather be known for people to come to me if they need, you know, I need a place to stay. I need this. I just need a vent. I just need a meal. You know, whatever it is, if I can offer it, I prefer to do that. Now, will I tell you the things you want to hear after you're done venting? No.
Nope.
So yeah, I'm not the nicest person. I'm not gonna, you know, baby you. I'm not gonna tell you something that you really shouldn't be hearing. I'm gonna tell you what you need to hear. So that's why I just don't feel like I'm the nicest person, because I'm very blunt and I say exactly what I'm feeling. But I think people understand that I'm coming from a good place. When I say I'm blunt, I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm trying to give you the truth, because anybody who knows me as Sneed, I want the truth back. Like when we're rehearsing for, you know, shows or video or whatever, and I'm going through the footage because we record each, you know, take. And I'm like, oh my God, my arm here. And then like, no, it's fine. I'm like, no, it's not. Like, correct it. Tell me where, how do you get it to look like how you know what I mean? Like, I'm very particular that way. And so I expect people to be like that with me, because I want to be at my best. I want to know when I fucked up. I want to know what I could have did better. Like my show last night, people were like raving about it, you know, strangers, literally, like, you know, people who are my friends. I'm like, not that I don't believe them, but I think people get to a point with you when they're so excited, they see where you're going, they see everything, that sometimes it's a blinder. You know what I mean? So when you may have not have done so good, you don't know, because they're just so excited for you. So like, I'll ask, strangers will come up to me and tell me that I did well, and then I'll stop them and be like, no, seriously, I really need to know, like, how was it? And I'll ask them specific questions, like, okay, vocally, what did you hear? Okay, how about my stage presence? So I'm blunt with people, because I want that in return. Like, I want to know for the future, because I don't want to go to another show and they felt like I didn't have enough energy and then I do it again. That doesn't help me. I need to go to the next level every show. So I need to know what needs to get fixed. So again, I'm not really concerned with being a nice person, but definitely with being a good person.
I receive all of that in terms of the feedback, because anything I do, I want that honest feedback. I can take the feedback. I'm not someone that gets in my feelings because if I'm doing something wrong and I keep repeating, I'm going to want you to tell me. So like if I have someone say, you know, critique my podcast, that's exactly what I want you to do. I want you to tell me what I've done wrong, what could have been better. And so I really get you in that standpoint. Go ahead and promote everything you got going on. Tell us when the album is coming out. Tell us. Let's go over the film on voting, like everything you got going on. Tell the listeners.
All right. So let's start with this. So for literally everything you want to know about me, easiest thing to do is log on to joelladeville.com. JoellaDeville.com. And you can literally find anything you want on there. My Twitter, my Instagram. You know, if you want to see videos, you want to hear some music, you want to buy some music, you know, support us. You can do that on my site. My bio, everything is there. My new album, well, it's not an album, it's an EP. It's only 4 songs. It's a little, you know, experimental. That's usually when you do an EP, you want to do about 6 to 8. But since this is my first project back in about 3 years, I just want to give a little sip, which is why it's called Just a Sip. That will be out the first week of June. So stay tuned for that. I'll be having a clothing line that is working with that that project as well. So stay tuned for that. I'll have pre-orders and everything like that up. I just released my new video, Ease the Pain. It's on Vivo. If you go on, like I said, if you go on my website or if you just check my Twitter, I've been tweeting out the link to it as well. You can check it out. You heard that new, Life is Tremendous. It's on a couple sites, so you can definitely check that out. And last but not least, please go vote for me, okay? Because I have to go perform at Summer Jam. Like, that has to happen. Like, this is not an option for me, okay? So what you gotta do is log on to filmon.com/who's next. Okay? Then you just go to where you see my name, Joella DeVille, and click vote. Okay? You can probably vote a couple of times if you vote like once on Wi-Fi, once off Wi-Fi. I done voted on my iPhone, on my iPad, on my MacBook. Okay? I need to take somebody Android to vote, whatever I gotta do. Whatever y'all gotta do, y'all gotta get me to the Summer Jam stage, you feel me? So that is the most important thing. If you take anything away from this podcast tonight, from this interview, you need to know you need to go vote for me and do it right now. Like right now.
Put us on pause. Go vote and then finish out.
Then finish out. Even if you doing something important like mowing the lawn, just stop. If you on the phone with the president, just tell him hold on.
Tell the president to vote. Tell the president to vote.
And then do whatever else you have to do.
That's what's up. I'm gonna put the video. I'm gonna put the because I haven't seen it yet. I'm gonna put the Ease the Pain video on my website, OTAPshow.com. I'm gonna see if I can put somewhere, create a link to the link to your website also, and some of the things that you got going on to help kind of promote you and get you out there even further.
Yes, you better.
All right, cool. Well, thanks for coming on the show this week.
I'm excited to be on the show. I've been hearing nothing but good things. I honestly haven't had time to listen. But what I will say is that you've done great promo for it because there's some certain episodes that I'm really excited to check out, like Venny's episode. I don't have issues with Venny, but I know a lot of people do. So I'm excited to see what got her to change their views on things. And it sounds like you really were able to do that. So that's partially why I was really excited to do this with you, because that's important to me, that that people can change their perspective, that they can see, outside of what their perspective that they currently have, or what they already think, or their preconceived notions. And it sounds like you guys were really able to get a lot of people who just cannot stand her to see a different side of her. So I'm actually going to be listening to that that podcast.
That's not to draw it out, but that's the whole reason, one of the reasons why I do the show, right? To give people an opportunity to see a different side of someone else from what you think you might know. You know what I mean?
Right.
And people really, the tough part is getting someone to listen to someone they think they already know and they don't like. But once if I promo it just right and get them just a little intrigued and they get in there, then it's like you somewhere in the middle of you like, wait, they think like I do, or wait, I didn't know, or man, maybe I was. So it's a real cool magical moment when people are like, you know what, I'm gonna unblock her, or I didn't know this, that, whatever. But yeah, it was.
Right.
I really enjoyed doing that. She's another awesome soul.
Right. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that one.
All right, cool. Well, that's Joella DeVille.
Check that out.
Stop by the OTAP show. Okay, now I'm when you really super blow up and you on the Summer Jam stage, I'm definitely plastering this interview everywhere.
Let's do it. Everywhere. Okay? Every single place on earth, literally.
Remember when Joella DeVille was on the OTAP show?
Exactly.
So yeah, but good looking out. Thanks for stopping by, and
Thank you for having me.
I look to hear more stuff from you in the future.
You will hear me on the Summer Jam stage because they're gonna go vote.
Definitely.
I'd like to thank our guests for coming on today. And if you'd like to be a guest on the show, send an email to otap@writeme.com. Follow the conversation on Twitter by searching the hashtag OTAP, that's OTAP, or following us on Twitter at OTAP Show. You can find the show on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Android users can listen to the podcast on Podcast Republic. Just download the app and search OTAP Show. On behalf of our guest, I'm your host, Corey, and I'll see you back here next week on the Air Podcast, starring you.